Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I have all new Halloween Dollar Tree DIYs to share with you all. I am very excited for today's video because these DIYs do have a high-end look to them, but they are all incredibly quick and easy to recreate. If you are not yet subscribed, please do consider subscribing. There's a lot of Halloween content on the way very soon that you will not want to miss. So we're going to jump right into the video with one of my favorites. I'm starting off with two of these doll houses from the Dollar Tree. You can just find these in the toy area. And I'm going to be spray painting them black on the front as well as the back with this Rustoleum chalked spray paint in the color charcoal. There were actually a few different style homes to choose from at Dollar Tree, but this one was my favorite by far. So here they are all painted on the front and back, and the reason I have two is because I wanted to create a mini haunted house that had a front as well as a back, and you can actually connect them with these little side connectors here. But before we do that, I wanted to add some details to the front. So to do that, I'm just going to be using some silver paint. You can actually use gold for this as well. That would be beautiful. And I found that a sponge brush works best. I don't want to actually repaint anything. All I want to do is just make some of those details really pop on the house. So I took a little bit of paint on my paintbrush here and I actually wiped most of it off. Then I'm just going to go over all of those raised surfaces with my sponge brush just so they can pick up a little bit of that silver color. So here it was when it was all done. Next, I'm going to be taking those two tea lights from Dollar Tree and just placing them inside the house. And I actually found it was helpful just to connect one side of the house and leave the other side open. Next, I'm going to be taking this felt sticker ghost from Dollar Tree and just adding him to the front. They had a bunch of different shapes to choose from, and this is when you can get really creative. So I picked up these little mini hay bales and these little pumpkins at Dollar Tree, but there are a ton of different items to choose from, and you can accessorize your haunted house any way you like. I wanted to just keep it pretty simple here, but any way you do it, this craft is definitely so much fun. Next, we're going to be giving the spider bowl from Dollar Tree a major upgrade with just a few simple steps. So I grabbed this glass candle holder from Dollar Tree, and all we're going to do is just paint it black. I chose a gloss black spray paint for this one just because the bowl itself does have a bit of a shine to it and we want them to look like they are meant to be together. So once it was all dry, I just took my bowl, I added some hot glue on the bottom, and then I just attached it to my candle holder. For an extra strong hold, you might want to use some E6000 glue. And now I just let it dry, and that is it. It is done. And let me tell you, this looks so high-end in person, really beautiful. No one would ever guess that this is just a Dollar Tree bowl and candle holder. Now it's perfect for some treats or just as a decor piece. For this next DIY, I'm going to be using one of these spiders from Dollar Tree, and I also picked up 3 hardcover books from Dollar Tree. I wanted them to be different sizes. So this DIY was actually inspired by this beautiful decor piece from Grandin Road. This one was a little bit out of my price range. It was $60, and I figured we could make something really similar for a fraction of the price. So all I did was just remove the dust covers from those books, and I'm just going to be hot gluing all 3 together, and I'm going to kind of stagger them a little bit. Then we just want to hot glue one of those spiders right on top. And the last step to make this really look like the inspiration photo is just to spray paint it with any gold spray paint. This one here is my favorite though. I find that it is very user friendly and the color is beautiful. I ended up doing 2 coats. If I can find a link for this spray paint, I will leave it down below. But here is the final result. This one definitely has that same look and feel to the inspiration photo, but it is a fraction of the price, but still really beautiful. This skull DIY is another one of my favorites. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen the sneak peek of this DIY. So I'm starting off with this foam skull from Dollar Tree. Next, we're going to need some baking soda. So this is also from Dollar Tree, so if you're there, you can also pick this up in the kitchen area. And then finally, we're gonna need some paint. So I wanted to create almost that terracotta look to it. So I wasn't too sure which colors I was gonna need. I actually ended up just using that golden brown color. And that paint is from Michael's if you're looking for that one exactly. So I'm just gonna start off with some baking soda in a cup and some of that golden brown color. It wasn't quite the terracotta look I was going for, so I decided to add some white chalk paint just to tone it down a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and get started painting my skull. Now I like to paint with a bit thicker of a baking soda paint when I like to do this technique, especially when you're covering up foam. So to do that, just add a little bit more baking soda. I'm usually looking for the consistency of toothpaste. So after I let that first coat dry, I added a second coat. I let that almost dry, and right before it was completely hardened, I sprinkled a little bit of extra baking soda all over it and just rubbed it in with my fingertips. Step really helps to give it that authentic look. Then you want to let it dry completely, and here is how it turned out. This one definitely has that high-end Pottery Barn feel to it, but it is super inexpensive and so easy. This next DIY is great for anybody who picked up those rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree but wasn't really sure what to do with them. So once you pick up your rub-on transfers, you can get any Dollar Tree frame. I just picked up 2 of these 4x4 frames. And next, I'm just going to be using some scrapbooking paper. If you don't have any scrapbooking paper at home, you can even use wrapping paper or just print out an image that you really like to use for a background. So next, I'm going to be taking that paper insert out of the frame and just using it as my template to cut out 2 squares. Next, I want to reframe everything underneath the glass. I went with a darker background because I thought it would really help to make these transfers pop. So now I'm just going to be cutting out any of the transfers that I want to use. And I want to keep that paper backing in place for now, just so I can move them around freely until I decide exactly where I want them. Once I had my design in place, I removed that paper backing, placed it onto my glass surface, and then just started to apply some pressure until it transferred off of that clear plastic onto the glass. I have a little tool here for this just to help, but you can definitely use your fingernail, but you do want to have some patience. It does take a little bit of time. But once you have them on there, it almost gives the appearance of the glass being painted, and it has a really fun effect. Really hope you guys enjoyed these Halloween DIYs. If you did, please do give this video a big thumbs up. And if you're new here, please do consider subscribing down below. There will be a lot more Halloween content on the way. I'm actually working on a very fun Hocus Pocus themed video that will be out very soon. So make sure you turn on that notification bell so you're the first to find out. Thank you so much for watching. To subscribe to my channel, you can just click on my picture right here.